this shared out. Get started in a second once some people join us. Get this posted on Twitter and the Discord. Hopefully the mic's better this week. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm going to hope it is. All right, so let some people start rolling in now that I've got this shared out. Let's get some of these things pulled up while a couple people start to join. Is the mic better this week? Can you hear me? Or are we still having issues with the mic? Because it works everywhere else. I guess it just isn't working on YouTube for some reason. I don't know why. Someone let me know if this mic's working this week. Hopefully it is. All right, good. Thinking of getting Rodgers for my single entry today. Does the snow worry you at all? No, snow doesn't worry me. The wind would worry me. But I think it should be good. I was looking at it. One of those where it looks a lot worse before kickoff. But yeah, Rodgers is one of those quarterbacks, JP will tell you. Snow doesn't affect Rodgers. Rodgers even is kind of one of those guys that almost plays better in the snow. But the wind is one of those things that can always affect any kind of quarterback, especially downfield throws. But wind shouldn't be that bad there today. So snow doesn't bother me in Green Bay. But even saying that, it looks like it's going to be done snowing by the time they kick off. So it shouldn't be a worry regardless. Cordero, a good pivot off chalky running backs. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to be playing some chalky running backs, but I'm going to play them with other guys. So we always talk about that's a strategy in DFS is playing chalky guys and making them not chalky. So either playing them, I got the hiccups, either playing them with guys that just aren't chalky, so it just obviously decreases the chance of having that lineup duplicated, or pairing those chalky guys in situations that maybe don't always get paired up. So we always talk about it like a chalky running back, a guy like an Aaron Jones. He's not going to be chalky this week, but on a week he is chalky. You could pair him up with a Rodgers or pair him up with a receiver and not a Rodgers and something like that. And that's a way of getting around that. So yeah, I do agree. I'm not playing Cordero today, but I get it for sure. Dwayne Washington's my pivot off of that. I mean, he could not see the field, or he could play 40, 50% of the snaps. But yeah, I think Dwayne Washington's a good pivot off of him. Najee's obviously going to be very chalky, but he's volume in a great spot with Mason as a backup quarterback coming in. You expect that they'll feed him. James Conner, obviously, with Chase Edmonds out. Who knows how much of the workload they'll give him, but if James Conner gets a full workload, obviously he's in a great spot. McCaffrey's a guy that I like. I think a lot of people aren't playing McCaffrey, and I think he's one of those guys that when he's just so under-owned, especially in a week like last week, he had, what do you have? I think he had 80 yards or something like that in a week where they said he was going to be limited. So now, obviously, second week back, you expect that workload to go up, so maybe he gets, who knows, 100, 120 total yards, and he finds the end zone once or twice. And $8,400, obviously, you're expecting a fairly big return. But if he's going to be, if you've got McCaffrey And I haven't done ownership projections, so this is just kind of guessing. But if you've got McCaffrey, let's say at 5% at 8,400, you've got Najee Harris at 25% at 7,900. There's a $500 difference, but Najee's 5x the ownership. So that's kind of where you got to kind of figure out where you want to be. Or you could play them both together and then go cheap elsewhere, and that's obviously making Najee not as chalky as he would be. Is Stevenson or Bolden a good play for the Patriots? I'm not touching them because when we do this whole thing with Belichick and backup running backs, what was the guy's name? It was a Sunday Night Football. It was like, I don't know. This was probably 5, 6 something years ago. The guy's name was like Jonas Gray or something like that. He had like 5 touchdowns on a Sunday night game. It's like Belichick, especially with these backup running backs, like who knows? It's whoever has the hot hand. That's what they do. Thielen or Connor for your flex. Oh, that's tough. I think I would go Thielen, but it depends on what the rest of your lineup looks like. And if it's a cash lineup, I would go James Conner. Depends on what the rest of your lineup looks like. But yeah, I think I would go Thielen there probably. That would be my guess. I'm going to start going over some player props and some of that stuff as well as we do this. So let's pull up some player props. You guys tell me if there's any player props you guys like. And we kind of go through these. All right, let's do let's see. Eckler love today. I'm not playing Eckler because I'm playing some of the other guys on the Chargers, but that's definitely if you can use Eckler for sure and just build a game script that way, 100%. I just ended up I'm going to go with Herbert and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. You could even stack Herbert with Eckler and one of the receivers for sure. But I'm just trying to keep my player pool, especially at running back, pretty short today because the couple guys that I'm going to play a decent amount of, I think that's kind of where I'm going to try and do it and maybe differentiated receivers that way. Let's pull up the cheat sheet. Let's pull up some player props. You guys tell me what you like as we go through some of this stuff. Let's pull up, and then I don't know if you guys can tell me what betting sites you guys use because I use a couple different books. I pull them up, but if people use similar books, I can pull those up and obviously get the odds and bets from those sites as well. So even if I have a better line somewhere else, we can I can at least answer the on DraftKings or on FanDuel or on Barstool or whatever. His reception number is so and so or whatever. But let's start pulling up some of these player props. Let's go through some of these games. Let's see what we like today. So we'll do the early games first, obviously. We'll do the later games later, because Sunday morning my brain has very, very limited capacity. So let's go Tampa Bay. I think Tyler Johnson's in an interesting spot, both for DraftKings and just for some props, because the initial thought, especially with a guy like Tyler Johnson, is Chris Godwin's playing, so that takes away from Tyler Johnson. But when looking at it, Tyler Johnson's really the Antonio Brown replacement. It's not as much the Godwin replacement. Godwin playing to me almost made me get off Evans. I was going to be on Evans with Godwin not there because of just the sheer volume that Evans would get. And if you guys have inactives up, if for some reason Godwin is inactive, let me know. But he was probably supposed to play. So I'm just doing this based off Godwin playing, which is why I think I like Tyler Johnson. Obviously not in the same stratosphere as those two guys, but his number is going to be much lower. And he's kind of that guy that I said it's more replacing Antonio Brown than it is what did I say? Chris Godwin. I told you my brain this early it's fried. All right, let's pull up. Let's see what his numbers are. Let's start with Tyler Johnson. Let's see if we can get a decent number on him. And guys, like I said, feel free to ask questions as we go. I can definitely rant and give you my thoughts and all of that. And I know a lot of people, they say that's what they like and just they listen to me talk and just pick and choose certain things, and that works too. But please don't be afraid to ask questions. Definitely here to answer questions as well. So, all right, let's start with this Bucks Washington game. Best tight end play. Are we talking cash or GPP? What are we? If we're my favorite tight end play on the board today with how I have my lineups built is probably Dalton Schultz, just because I'm not using any of the Cowboys receivers. But I think if I'm ranking my tight ends today, it's probably Dalton Schultz. Dan Arnold's going to be popular, so that always scares you. But at 3,500, obviously doesn't have to do much. But I think it's Dalton Schultz. I'll probably be fairly spread out between the 4 tight ends. I don't know if I'll necessarily be 25% each of them in my 20 max, but I would say I'll probably be 30% or so Dalton Schultz. I'll probably have about 15% Kyle Pitts. That's what I would say, the one out of those 4 guys that I would have the least amount of. So if I have 15%, great. Now I'm going to have to try and start doing some math in my head. I'm sure this is going to go well. So 15% Kyle Pitts. So it's at 85% between the other 3. So let's call it 30% each, 27% each. So yeah, I'll probably have about 15% Kyle Pitts, 30% Dalton Schultz, 25% Arnold, and 25% Conklin. Is that up to 100? 25, 25. What did I say? 15, 65, 35. Look at that. Adds up to 100. Touching Mark Ingram. I'm not in cash games. I get playing Mark Ingram for sure. But for GPPs, I just, the whole thing with me is that Ingram at this point of his career, like I'd almost be more surprised if he got 70% of the touches or something crazy like that. Especially with Simeon playing, because he's more of the kind of the check down guy, and Dwayne Washington's for sure their check down guy. So maybe I'm building a game script in my head that doesn't exist, and maybe Ingram is on the field for 80% of the snaps and gets most of the touches, and that's what it is. But I just don't see it. I mean, I don't think he's a bad player, like I said. I just don't think he necessarily has the upside everyone thinks he does, unless he falls in the end zone 3 times. All right. Tyler Johnson, his props. Let's go. Player receiving yards. All right. Well, I don't have a Tyler Johnson line on either of my books. So let's pull up the third one, see if that has one. And then if not, looks like it's no Tyler Johnson bet today. QB for cash on FanDuel. I got to pull up FanDuel prices real quick. I haven't looked at FanDuel prices as much. I'd have to do that. Are we let's see, where is my favorite game on Sunday morning is when I'm trying to open the apps on my phone, and it takes me an hour to find where each app is, even though I don't have that many apps on my phone. FanDuel, where are you? Probably right next to DraftKings, which would be right here. Would you rather have Cousins paired with Thielen or Hurts paired with no Eagles? Ooh, I'm doing both of those. I think I like Cousins with Thielen more, but I do like Hurts with no Eagles. I'm definitely playing both of them. I do like them both. I think I like Cousins with Thielen more, but no issue with either one. All right, FanDuel quarterback. So let's see. Herbert's 8K, Rodgers 78, Hurts is 77, Cousins 76. I think it's probably Rodgers. Rodgers at 78, I think I would go. I think I would go, I think in terms of cash, it's tough because these 4 guys are all super close for me. But I think I'd go Rodgers, then Hurts, then Cousins, then Herbert maybe for cash and on FanDuel. But they're all the same price, so that's kind of why I like that. So many good running backs today. Might just grab Najee and pay up at wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, Najee's going to for sure be popular. But like I said, I'm going to play a decent amount of them. I don't see much of a way around them. All right. Let's see. Receiving yards. All right, there is no Tyler Johnson line, so it looks like we're not betting Tyler Johnson today. We tried. We did our best. All right, let's go Detroit at Pittsburgh. So we're looking at Pittsburgh here. When we're looking at touchdowns, Najee, I'm assuming, is going to be like minus 170, minus 200, something like that for a touchdown. Let's do Big Ben being out helped Deontay. I don't think it helps Deontay. I don't know if it necessarily hurts as much, but I don't think it helps. If you've seen Mason Rudolph throw a football, Mason Rudolph starting doesn't help any football team. All right, let's do Najee. What's he 2 touchdowns? What would that price be? Let's see. Najee to score 2+ touchdowns. He is looks like 4-1. Does that sound about right? Plus 350 is what I'm seeing here. So all right, let's get that out. Let's do let's get these bets typed out as we're doing this. Let's do Najee 2+ TDs plus, and everything I'm saying here, I'm saying it as I'm typing it on Twitter, so I'll post obviously all of this. But some people like to do it as we go. So Najee 2+ touchdowns plus 350. Do half a unit on that. Who's my most owned D today? Probably Washington. It all depends on how it. I would say Washington's probably number 1, then Philly, then Jacksonville. But it all depends on how your lineups break out and kind of what money you have left. The Eagles are, I think, a good defensive play today. But they're $600-700 more than Washington. So if you have the money, spend it. But I wouldn't make money to go from Washington to Philly. That's what I would say for that. All right. All right. Let's do Najee 2+ touchdowns plus 350. What's his receiving yards number? 26 plus receiving yards. I like that. Let's do that. Let's do Najee 26 plus receiving yards. Deontay Johnson and Lions D, or Thielen and Washington D. Thielen and Washington D. I would get Thielen and Washington D for sure. I don't hate the Lions D. I don't think that's a crazy play, especially with Rudolph playing. But yeah, I would go Thielen and the Washington D. All right, let's do all right, so we did Najee's to there. Let's do let's go to New Orleans and Tennessee. Let's see if we can get any Dwayne Washington props. I wonder if they're going to be out there. Let's see. New Orleans at Tennessee. All right, let's do receptions. Is there a receptions number for Dwayne Washington? There is not. Lovely. I never understand like how books decide who they're going to put numbers out on and who they're not, because like they'll have certain guys, like they'll have like the 7th receiver, but they won't have the backup running back. All right, so it looks like we're not doing Dwayne Washington props then. Check my third book just to make sure he's not there. I don't see anything. All right, let's do, what is Westbrook Akina's number for receptions? That's what I want to see. Receptions. Marvin Jones. I'm not playing Marvin Jones, but I get it. I got no issue with Marvin Jones' play today. It's not a bad play at all. I just you got to cut it at somewhere, and wasn't going there. But I don't hate it. Definitely not a bad play. Where is Nick Westbrook is over 2.5, so 3+ receptions. I like that. Let's do that. Westbrook, 3+ receptions. Since Kyler's out there, go Tannehill or pick up Heineke, Jimmy G, or Mason Rudolph. I think you just got to go Tannehill. Tannehill's just the best quarterback out of that group. I think you just have to play the best quarterback. Sometimes that's what you have to do. We always talk about this is like when you're trying to bet something. Yeah, JP said it. Snow's not an issue, especially for a guy like Rodgers. It shouldn't be snowing much by the time they're playing anyways, an hour or so. Are they later? I think they're later, right? But Rodgers is one of those guys. Snow doesn't affect him. If it was crazy windy and all of that affect, I'd maybe look at that. But no, that's not an issue for me. Jacoby Myers, will he finally find the end zone today? Maybe. At some point, he's got to, right? At some point, he has to find the end zone. Who knows when it's going to happen, though? It's crazy. Is he? I think he's now got the most catches in NFL history without having a touchdown. I think it's like 160 something, right? Or am I crazy? Did I make that number up? I might have completely made that number up, which if I did, I didn't. But if it's right, I said it. Man, I can't even get any Dwayne Washington touchdown props. I can't get anything. One of my sites has to have a touchdown prop, right? Yeah, it's crazy. 100+ catches and has no touchdown. Good. Look at that. I'm glad I said something intelligent. Doesn't always happen like that. All right. Dwayne Washington is only plus 450 to score a touchdown. Is that right? That makes me like Dwayne Washington DK even more if he's going to be that low. Let's see. Let's search Washington. Yeah. Plus 400. So let's do that. Washington, New Orleans. TD plus 400. Cheap wide receiver on FanDuel. Ooh, got the hiccups. Under 6K. Let me pull up FanDuel, and I will tell you. Under 6K. So TY's there. Myers isn't a bad play. Who knows if I'm just scrolling just to scroll at this point. Yeah, I think TY's probably the play. I don't hate TY. I won't have a bunch of TY, but I don't hate TY today. I think it's probably TY, for being honest. That would be – you could go Gallup, though. I don't hate Gallup. Yeah, that's tough. I think I'd probably say TY. But that is tough. Some odd feeling the Pats just go straight pass attack today without Harris. I don't hate it. I wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. All right, let's do what's this next game we got? Atlanta at Dallas. Let's do Dalton Schultz. Where is he at? Let's see. So let's pull up. We've got about 15 more minutes before I get off so I can finish getting my my lineup set. But let's see. Let's look at these. All right, so he has third most targets on the team. Let's look at his receptions number for today. Dalton Schultz, 5+ catches. I like that. Let's do that. Schultz, 5+ receptions. Let's see. Dalton Schultz, 47+ yards. I like that. Is that what this number is? Is that right? Yep. And then let's throw a touchdown prop in there because, that's what we do when we go for these trifectas on these receivers and tight ends. Dalton Schultz touchdown should be 2-1, maybe something in that range. Let's see. Dalton Schultz, anytime touchdown scorer. Yeah, plus 190 is what I'm seeing. So let's do that. Okay, let's do that for Dalton Schultz. I know it can be halfway boring as I'm trying to find the lines as we're going, but that's why I always say that feel free to ask questions as I'm looking at this stuff so I can be answering that as I'm looking for this. What was that? I forgot what I was about to do. Oh, type it. Got to get typed out for the people. That's what I was going to do. Schultz. All right. Let's get these. Question: what type of steak should I go buy after this? Wagyu. Treat yourself. But if you're not treating yourself, the real answer is to halfway treat yourself with a ribeye. Ribeye is always the answer. Or what I do sometimes, what I like to do is I'll get one of those standing rib roasts that you can make the prime rib out of and slow cook that, but you got to start that earlier in the day. So yeah, those are the two options that I use. Let's do. I think that's probably it for these early games, right? Let's look at. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for props for these early games. So we got, let's say, 50, 8 bar. All right, let's get those in. I'll fly down and I'll take a ribeye too on my private jet. All right, let's do about 15 more minutes or so because I got to finish building my lines. But let's go over these props that we just put out there. So, so we've got Najee 2+ touchdowns plus 350, half a unit. Najee 26+ reception yards. Nick Westbrook for the Titans, 3+ receptions. Dwayne Washington touchdown plus 400. Dalton Schultz 5+ catches. Dalton Schultz 47+ yards. Dalton Schultz plus 190 to score a touchdown. I think that's it. Like AJ Green with no hop. Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm with Kyler not playing, it'll get me off a little bit. But I don't mind that at all. I'm not going though. Like I said, I kind of cut it down elsewhere. But yeah, I definitely don't mind that at all. Not at all. Let's see. Anything else we want to add? Maybe is there, let's see, 2+ touchdowns? Should we get like freaky for like a Dwayne Washington 2+ touchdowns or something like that? Or 16-1 to score 2 touchdowns? Is that right? I think you might have to throw a little flyer on that. Let's see. AJ Green or Cole Beasley? Probably Beasley, but it's close. But probably Beasley. What was I just about to look up? What was the last thing I was going to look up? I tell you, man, my brain on a Sunday morning. It's a good thing it's programmed for NFL, because anything outside of NFL, it is toast on a Sunday morning. Dwayne Washington 2+ touchdowns. Was that right? Let's see. 2+ touchdowns. Dwayne Washington. Oof. Skybet has a 66-1 on Dwayne Washington 2+ touchdowns. That's interesting. I'm not on that side of the pond, but if I was, 66-1 on 2 touchdowns for Dwayne Washington is crazy. Cobb or AJ Green? Ooh, you really want me to say AJ Green at some point, don't you? That's toss-up. I still think I'd go Cobb, maybe. I don't know. That's close. That's probably a coin flip if we're being honest. All right, let's get this Dwayne Washington number, and then we can get out of here so I can get my lineups finished being built. Dwayne Washington, please, for the Saints. Touchdown score, props, 2+ touchdowns. Dwayne Washington is not on this website either. So it looks like we're going to do that 16-1 that we saw earlier. That's what it's going to be. So Washington, 2+ touchdowns plus 1,600. That's a quarter unit. And then, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do today. I'll get that stuff tweeted out. We can go from there, and then I can any longest reception for anybody, maybe? No, maybe Najee. Let's see, what would Najee's be? And then we could get out of here. Steelers, Lions, receiving, longest reception, Najee 12+ yards. I like that. Let's do that. Najee, long reception, 12+. All right, so that's what we're going to do. That's where we're going to be at. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'm going to get out so I can get my stuff finished. Sorry we got started a little late today. Had to get some stuff taken care of first. But thank you guys for watching. As always, make sure you hit that like button. Helps. Hit that subscribe. If you don't, you'll get the notifications. Turn that on so that when I go live, you will know, or when we post any of our videos for NFL, UFC, or anything else, you will know. You'll heads up. I appreciate it. I like when I say that and I get a couple more likes. I can see when the likes go up. So I appreciate that people do that, because I always used to be like, oh, I watch videos, likes don't matter, whatever. And then when you get into it, you realize like how important it is and how it does matter, and especially for smaller people like me. So now that I've kind of realized that, I try and make sure that I'm subscribing to everything I watch. I like everything I watch. It helps all that stuff out. So thank you guys. If you're not in the Discord, it's free. DM me on Twitter. I can send you a link. It actually might be in my profile still. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out, and let's have a great Sunday. Let's do this. I'll get these NFL bets posted for these 1 o'clock slate games within the next 5 minutes or so. And then, we'll get the 4 o'clock games posted later. Let's do this. Let's have a good day, guys. Thank you guys for joining us, and let's do this.